Hey everybody, I'm just doing a bunch of videos, just trying to get them out as soon as possible. So here we go. I want to talk about David Icke and exposing David Icke. This is just really quickly. I can tell you right now that I know for a fact that David Icke is full of shit and that shape-shifting reptilians are not real and that none of this is real that he is saying. Everything he's got is fucking backwards. These are people who have been put in place to mislead you. Him and Alex Jones both are double agents. They're like triple agents. They're not for you. They're double agents for two entities that are not in your favor, period. It's a false light. That's all it is. And I know for a fact because, like I said, my friend Rose was taken by Arizona Wilder, and the person that I spoke to was friends with David Icke. David Icke has my phone number, and not the phone number that I gave on the online. He has my real phone number. And I'm telling you right now that Arizona Wilder was pre-programmed to answer all of David Icke's questions. And that's all there is to it. She was programmed to talk about shape-shifting reptilians. She was every single thing in that interview with David Icke. Arizona Wilder was taken, triggered, and programmed to answer questions a certain way for him. That's why she talks like this when she's answering the questions, because she's under hypnosis. So if you think the shit that David Icke is saying is real, think again. And then he interviews this Zulu guy. Please, Mr. Icke, please, believe me when I tell you. Nobody says the same thing over and over and over again. This is supposed to be like an intelligent individual, and he says the same recited things over and over again. And in Arizona Wilder's video, you can see that as soon as she comes out, she says, can you guys hear me? And of course she's standing like 2 feet from the microphone. So everybody's like, no. And then she walks a couple feet closer. She goes, how about now? And everybody's like, yeah. Okay. So she's literally, I used to do hypnosis for a living. Okay. She's literally starting her speech with a call and response. Okay. So, these things you need to know. These things will help your compass. Fine-tune your compass to know who's a liar and who isn't. And I know David Icke, he seems so sweet, and he seems so genuine, and he seems like he really wants to help people. He's not, you guys. He's capitalizing. He's making money off of this. Why is he with Alex Jones? Come on, you guys. We all know who Alex Jones is. Come on. They're going to deindustrialize this country. And the United States government. Come on. We're so sick. You get fatter and fatter every time I see you, Alex Jones. Come the fuck on. Ain't nobody ascended or enlightened or in the know as fat as you. That is disgusting. And every time you see him, this guy's stuffing his face with your honest dollars. Like with money that he gets from people watching his videos, from people visiting his website, subscribing, and entertaining it. So that's how I feel about Alex Jones. I know that what he did to Tequila, he really did do that to her. And he's done it to other people as well. Like they'll like go and they interview you. They do a pre-interview where they get all your. They did this to me, not Alex Jones, but another one did this to me, where they get all your information from you and they interview you, and then they like set you up like they're gonna do it, and then you wait and you wait and you wait, and they don't do anything. And I mean that's just me. Like they did this shit to Tequila on like a large scale, and for that matter, they did it to Michael Jackson. And then the only reason he was able to prove himself innocent of that interview was that he had his own hidden cameras. Otherwise, they would have been able to say all that stuff about him. So they do this stuff to people, and Alex Jones is doing it. And okay, for instance, why don't you hear about, they had Professor Griff on Coast to Coast. They did not mention Alex Jones, or they did not mention Cat Williams, and they did not even mention Tequila. Why would they not mention Cat Williams when he's like publicly talking about the Illuminati and publicly being crucified and publicly having his children taken away from him? And when we saw him live in Fresno, he was telling us some real shit. I'll do that in a different video. But he was telling us a lot of weird shit about what was going on and stuff, and he was really into the Jews and the Israelites and the lost tribes of Egypt, and that's pretty much what he's doing. And they do not like it, and they don't want black people to know who they are. That's for sure. And so that these people doing this, I'm just kind of like tripping out because I don't know. I'm not racist against white people, but at all, because I'm just not. But it's like, when are you going to find somebody who's not hella fucking white bread talking about this stuff in the mainstream? When? Never. I guess never. I mean, Cat Williams did it. Yes. He paid the price for that, didn't he? So, and then still, people still don't open their eyes and see what the truth is. And so, very, very strange going on. But David Icke is definitely part of the cabal. And I will do another video. I'm just going to keep doing videos on people that I know are lying, deceiving, and part of the cabal. Or just MK Ultra. Some of them, they don't know what they're doing. Or maybe sometimes they think they do know what they're doing. They think they're doing the right thing. But I've been able to flesh a lot of people out through just asking God. Like, I want to know what I need to know for this mission. And you would not believe how my life had been set up to see the truth. How could I know that David Icke was a fraud? I really felt like he seemed so sweet. He seemed so nice and so gentle and so nice, you know? How could I know that he was a fraud if my best friend hadn't been stolen by Arizona Wilder and under mind control, with I seen with my own eyes? Ice freezing with giant shoots coming up because they're using some sort of energy device, or there's some sort of entities around here. I don't fucking know. But, I mean, they're like really doing this to my friend, and they really took my friend, and Arizona Wilder really took her out of the country, you know, and she hasn't seen her kids since, and that was years ago. I mean, like, literally when my husband was proposing to me up in the mountains, we're getting phone calls because of this. Like, you know, it was in my life. So, I have that privilege of knowing who's fake and who's not, and it will fine-tune your compass. It fine-tuned my compass, I'll tell you that. And I think it's important that you know that MK Ultra is real, and this agenda that they're pushing with the shape-shifting reptilians is a bunch of BS. And everything that was done to fuck you up now has already been done. I don't know. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Everybody's had plenty of time. There have been Christians running around saying it's the end for a while, and people don't want to listen. And, I mean, last year I told people that I knew at the beginning of the year, just wait. In 1 year, this country's not going to be recognizable. It's going to be different. And, I mean, it's already getting different. And it's going to look very different. And depending on who you are, you'll have your own perspective on it. But, I mean, this country's getting ready to change a lot. I mean, who would have thought a year ago that we'd be watching the TV to look and see what Russia is doing right now? Ever since I was a child, my dad told me that the end of the world would start in Russia. That the person who started it would wear a blue turban, and the color would be blue, and that the end of the world would start in Russia. And I don't know how he knew this. I remember my dad showing me when the flavored tomato came out, and he's like, look at this, they're doing it, they're changing our food. It's the devil's food. They're changing our food. They're messing with it. They're changing nature. They can't do that. It's going to be the end times. This is what they did in the time of Noah. Like, I mean, he didn't even really understand, and he to this day didn't really understand GMOs, so it's kind of crazy that he was saying that stuff to me as a child. But, so yeah, fine-tune your compass. Figure out what's real and what's not. There really are sacrifice tables, so there really are sacrificing people. I really saw them leave with a girl in this truck who was obviously dead. That was real. I wasn't alone when I saw it. They really, you know, my friend's mom really ripped all of her rainbow stuff out and threw it away. Jeannie Nelson was really found almost sodomized to death on the Masonic block of what's it called? The Masonic block of downtown, the post office. And she was a CIA mind control agent because she lived next door to me before she was a homeless woman. You understand how my life has been arranged? This woman was killed. Everybody knows that she was sodomized. They wouldn't release her identity. I knew immediately who she was when I read it in the paper. And then, like, there's all this crazy stuff about her. And then I'm like, oh my God, she lived next door to me. She wasn't always a homeless lady. I know that the CIA came out and went into her apartment when she wasn't there, and like I went in when she left and when she was triggered, and it was just weird. My life is weird. No wonder I went on a journey. No wonder it wasn't going to be easy. So anyways, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you understand. I know a lot of people are going to be mad because they like David Icke or some of his stuff. Some of what he says is true. I'm not saying it's not true, but the government, such a broad spectrum. The people are the government in this country, so don't buy that shit. And all these things that are happening are not the government. They're private. They're private. The CIA is private. It's corporations. That's why it's black ops. It's all private. Those are guns for hire. They're like mercenaries almost. So wake up. Everybody that works for special forces, works for CIA, and that's what special forces is. It's just private sect. What do you want me to say?